what's happening around the world and what's happening here at home. A very good evening to you and welcome to Primetime News. I'm Fernando. Now, before we get into your stories in detail, let's take a quick look at your headlines for tonight.
President instructs heads of state institutions to ensure that the state sector is not weakened. Lakshman Kiriella's challenge to the government. We are ready to sit as the opposition in parliament if they are defeated by a constitutional low confidence motion, says Kiriella. Revelation from Vijith Wijayamuni Soysa as to who should be held accountable for the brawl in parliament. Battle for clean drinking water comes to an end for the people of Morawakkanda. The CIA concludes Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman ordered the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi.
In a top story for tonight, the UNP has challenged the ruling party to bring forward a proposal to claim their majority in parliament next week.
We gave him 2 chances to claim majority in parliament and he dismissed both of them. If he is a respectful individual, he must claim his majority in parliament. They can bring forward a proposal to claim their majority in parliament and I challenge them to do this. We are ready to face a vote without causing any interference. I am not aware. You must inquire this from Sajith Premadasa himself. I don't know. You must ask this question from the President. We are not afraid to face an election. However, we are not prepared to contest in elections under the administration of an illegal government. We are not ready to face elections under the current government. However, we are prepared for elections under a legal government.
Here are some of the views expressed on how the public representatives behaved in Parliament.
Give us the permission to continue this improper practice of disrespecting the Speaker at Parliament. If not, we cannot continue this fight. We believe that upon entering the battlefield, the enemy must be defeated with any weapon at hand. We met the Speaker yesterday and requested permission to bring in our legal weapons to Parliament and to fire for self-protection. We agree that for the first time in history the Speaker's chair was lifted. If the Speaker's chair is not available, he does not have a seat. Orders passed in such a situation have no validity. There is nothing to reprimand. When the Speaker acts disrespectfully in Parliament, we take such measures to protect democracy and parliamentary traditions. These measures are from the perspective of the people. All we did was to protect democracy in Parliament.
UPFA's Wijayamuni Soysa expressed the following opinions at a gathering held in Bibile.
One might ask me what is currently happening in the Parliament. What is happening in the Parliament is very clearly shown through the media. It showed how civilized we are, how behaved we are. The whole world saw how the people who we selected conducted themselves. I saw that the British ambassador had tweeted saying that he saw how uncivilized the behavior of the Parliament and its ministers were. We apologize sincerely. Not only the ministers, but the people who supported them are at fault. All of you should take responsibility for this.
The March 12th movement convened a media briefing today to inform the general public regarding the current political situation and to make a collective influence.
Due to the current unstable situation, people might have to face unfavorable incidents. For the benefit of the people, politicians should come up with a solution without being violent. We also request this from the general public. The leader of this country states that parliamentarians are sold for a price and that is why he dissolved the parliament. If the president of this country says if parliament is reconvened, there can be a murder and dissolves parliament as a result, then that is a very unfortunate situation. The people of this country have been able to act in a more decent manner than them. The parliament was useless for the past 3 days. They spend 25.7 million per day to carry out a parliamentary session. The total expense is borne by the people of this country. We should not tolerate this.
There were some visuals which we would like to share what the residents of Morawakkanda Nochagama had to say this morning as the Gammanpila initiative inaugurated a water purification unit in this village.
We didn't have any drinking water. Our people have to stand in line at the tube well after hard days of work to get a little water. Our mothers and daughters had to walk for long distances carrying water, and many in our villages suffer from kidney disease.
For decades, the people of Morawakkanda endured untold hardships due to a lack of water. The project that will change the lives of over 250 farming families was sponsored by retired Lieutenant Commander Professor Vincent Pieris. With construction work beginning on the 5th of July, the residents of the village contributed immensely to complete the project in just 4 months.
Our people fight to live. It sometimes doesn't rain here for years, but when it does, it is a blessing. We appoint public representatives to provide a service to the people. Today, Parliament has become a joke. MPs act like animals. We are ashamed to speak about these people who are totally incapable of running this small country. The innocent people are made to pay for their incapability. One cannot blame the people. We can now say fearlessly, with the strength of our village, we can open our taps at home and drink water. We have sent 225 people to Parliament with our vote and have asked them to serve the people. We have asked them to build roads. We have asked them for water to drink. But while they waste national resources assaulting each other in Parliament, Gammanpila and the village combine to give us water. Is this what we hope for when we send these people to Parliament? When they were riding in their Prados, they did not see people suffering with kidney disease. They did not see our people drinking unclean water because they had no choice. This village is not just saying thank you to Gammanpila. Our hope is that you are blessed forever.
Retired Lieutenant Commander Professor Vincent Pieris, officers from the Sri Lanka Police and Gammanpila team leaders were present at the occasion.
I thank Gammanpila for giving us this opportunity. I am not a rich person. According to our philosophy, we must share with everyone.
Gammanpila, Sri Lanka's largest rural development movement, will launch its next project in Anuradhapura on the 22nd of this month.
The SLPP convened a press briefing in Colombo today.
Why can't the MPs request for a vote through the Parliament's agenda? Were numbers concerned when the no-confidence motion against Ranil Wickremesinghe was brought forward? There was no issue. The new Prime Minister should have been appointed on the day. However, we left due to the lack of majority. I told the Speaker to eject his seat and return shortly so that all parliamentarians will return to their seats. However, he refused to do so. Then I told the Speaker that 2 MPs present are armed with pocket knives and might result in death of 1 or 2 individuals. The Speaker replied saying, I don't care who dies. I will not leave my seat. We then realized that the Speaker was not in his proper sense.
Nearly 60,000 people sacrificed their lives for the JVP and not for the JVP to be a tail of the UNP and act according to its agenda. I saw Vijith exposing his injuries to the media. However, these wounds are not visible to anyone as they are covered with enormous plasters.
During a press briefing convened at the Temple Trees today, UNP Wijepala Hettiarachchi expressed the following views.
What
are the educational qualifications of the MP who threw chili powder mixed with water? What are the educational qualifications of the MP who threw chairs? I challenge this MP and Mahinda Rajapaksa to come forward and claim majority and support to conduct a vote peacefully.
Views were expressed by few MPs at the media briefing convened at the Prime Minister's office.
දැන් ඔබතුමාලා කල්පනා කරලා බලන්න මේ රටේ ඉතිහාසයේ කවදා හරි දවසක
Think for a moment, in the history of Parliament, have you ever seen or heard of an incident where the Speaker of Parliament comes into the chamber with a police guard and the mace and approves a motion? Have you heard of such dangerous situation when the Speaker of Parliament comes in from the back door with the mace and tries to approve certain proposals which is inconsistent with the constitution of Sri Lanka by the sound of the majority? Can you imagine what would happen to our country if the international community accepts this?
We know that
Ranil Wickremesinghe carried on for 3.5 years with great difficulty. The country is unfortunate because of Ranil Wickremesinghe. We cannot have him. From 2010, he has been appointing other people as candidates. That has nothing to do with us. Incapable leaders took over the country and have destroyed it. That is the reality. So Ranil Wickremesinghe do not challenge us. This speaker must also be accused of forging documents. He has forged one such document. He presented a fake agenda to the parliament. Yesterday, Karu Jayasuriya did one thing right. Instead of sitting in the middle and saying he is impartial, he stood up on the UNP side just like a UNP MP and showed his true colors to the world. For this, we thank the Speaker. President instructs head of state institutions to ensure that the state sector is not weakened. While Ranil Wickremesinghe is stuck in temple trees, crying that he cannot leave, we can assure that Mahinda Rajapaksa is not one to cling onto the garbage in the Prime Minister's office, refusing to leave.
MPs supporting the government had a meeting at the Prime Minister's office this morning.
The Prime Minister has been appointed and the Executive has appointed a cabinet. They must be allowed to work. Bring a no-confidence motion that is constitutional, following due process. If we lose that motion, we will sit in the opposition without any problem. The Speaker was completely controlled here by foreign hands, Ranil Wickremesinghe. Them and Sumandiran and his group have got together to put this country into this mess.
Firstly, they must accept the government. They must have a committee meeting on the activities of Parliament. They must put forward an order paper. They must add the no-confidence motion to it. That is the way. There's no other system.
There are minority governments in this world. If they show us legitimately that there is no majority, we are ready to go. There is no problem.
Following are the views expressed by two Galle district parliamentarians from the ruling party as well as the opposition.
The origin of this problem is when the Speaker violated the honour of the Parliament for the need of the UNP. The President clearly said that only if the no-confidence motion is brought forward without violating the Constitution and respecting the Parliament tradition, that it would be accepted. But the Speaker convened the Parliament on the second day as well, without appointing any committee. We might as well check the Speaker's head according to clause 22(1), or else he will very distinctively continue to operate as a representative of the UNP. At the party meeting, we requested to enact the law against the MPs who brought knives to the parliamentary complex, but the Speaker did nothing. It was an act put up by him in front of the foreign diplomats. He does not care if the country ends up in jeopardy if the UNP has the power. When they couldn't get the task done, when they couldn't find the 113, when they couldn't buy off MPs, now they say the actions taken in the parliament are false. Every day the people of this country see how the MPs behave inside the parliamentary complex. It is up to the heads of the parties to tie up their dogs. They should know how to protect their henchmen. The leaders should be held responsible for this.
National organizer of the All Ceylon Farmers Federation, Namal Konarratna, expressed his views regarding the incident took place at the parliament yesterday.
Children were so interested to get back home after 1:30 after the term test finished to watch wrestling. What wrestling? Wrestling at the parliament. There are people who justify these incidents. They might even say the attack on Vijith Herath was constitutional because he was attacked by the constitution. We would like to inform Mahinda Rajapaksa to officially forward a proposal to show the confidence of the parliament, to show that the Prime Minister is official and appointed democratically. Keep aside the 113, at least show they can show the majority.
The Global Sri Lanka Forum convened a press briefing in Colombo yesterday to express their views regarding the present political situation in the country.
As the Global Sri Lanka Forum, we are happy to note that the President took such measures. If the country was to continue in its previous state, our country's security, self-sufficiency and economy would have collapsed.
Continuing in more local news, the Catholic Bishops' Conference has condemned the prevailing political situation in the country and has requested politicians to refrain from involving the public to aggravate political issues.
We, the Catholic Bishops' Conference in Sri Lanka, are very much disappointed about the situation that has arisen in Parliament, and as a result, the political turmoil that is present in the country today. Whatever the issues may be, we must know that there are just, ethical and decent ways of handling them. We want to reiterate that nothing that is contrary to democracy or as a matter of fact to the constitution in Sri Lanka should be resorted to by any politician or any political party. We strongly condemn such an attitude. Therefore, we urge you, all those who are responsible, to act responsibly and with restraint in this moment of crisis. People know who the leaders that they want, so they should be given an opportunity to select their leaders. We, the Catholic Bishops' Conference in Sri Lanka, therefore would urge all political leaders and all political parties to settle this moment of crisis, this situation, with a sense of urgency, thinking about our dear country and our dear people.
Meanwhile, President instructs head of state institutions to continue the smooth functioning of state institutions and to prevent any lag services provided by them. The President made these remarks at a discussion held between the Ministry District Secretaries and other secretaries of state institutions as well other heads of government institutions.
The President informed the state officials that the current political crisis will be resolved in the coming days and that it is the duty of each state institution to provide its services efficiently and without fail to the citizens. I would like to request all heads of state institutions to carry out the usual services and work towards reaching its annual targets and prepare the necessary accounts, and also to provide services offered by each institution efficiently and expeditiously to the people. I expect your support rendered to the state and the country at this time. Essential services like fuel, ports and shipping, medicine and health, as well as certain import and export services, must function as usual at any cost, because if they fail to operate now, the repercussions might be felt later on in the coming months. I have also instructed all the governors to keep providing the Grama Shakti services as well.
A group of protesters engaged in a protest blocking the railway line from Noropan to Elwakkulama today.
The residents complain of garbage brought from Colombo being dumped in limestone pits created by private cement manufacturing company. According to the agreement, this pit must be filled with sand and thereafter trees must be planted. This has not been done.
Do cannot bring garbage to Puttalam. There are other ways of solving this problem. Y'all must use scientific methods to solve this issue.
Though police officials made several attempts to disperse the crowd, only to prove futile, the protesters say that the demonstration will continue until a permanent solution is implemented. Parliamentarian Palitharangi Bandara joined the protests in the evening. When Hitler was in power and bombed England, Prime Minister Churchill continued Parliament at the Churchill House. Hitler put a bomb and today Mahinda Rajapaksa has put a cow on the Speaker's seat. This is the situation in Parliament today.
The Bandaranaike Centre for International Studies in Colombo, in association with the Embassy of the People's Republic of China in Sri Lanka, organized an event in line with the theme Belt and Road Initiative yesterday. Views were expressed at the event that the Belt Road accounts for nearly 30% of the global economy.
The inaugural session was followed by panel discussions on South Asian and global perspective of the BRI by both foreign and local experts.
What makes it very interesting is the sheer size and scope of the project. The fact that it touches the life of half of the population in the world, living in 65 countries, and accounting for nearly 30% of the global economy. And we are talking about 1 trillion outbound financing in the next 10 years. The whole project talking about $5 trillion US. So it is a massive project. And obviously, as a result, there is a lot of global attention around what BRI is and what it means for the partner countries as well as the world. And this is one of the, I guess, the largest project that a single country has undertaken at this scale.
What's important for BCIS as a international relations education establishment, as well as a think tank in Sri Lanka on international relations and the oldest and the largest education establishment in Sri Lanka, is to give Sri Lankan public a sense of what's happening, what are the global transformations that's happening around us now, especially during a time like that, and especially being a Friday.
BRI is aimed to address the development issues, particularly for those countries that in the region where the Asian Silk Road has been covered.
Now, I believe that China is critical for a new South Asia. China is a neighbor, either a direct neighbor or indirect neighbor of all South Asian countries. China has strong civilization links to India and other South Asian countries. China is a rising power, not only in Asia, but globally.
I think of BRI beyond infrastructural design because it is far deeper than only infrastructure. I also believe that BRI is a people-centric initiative because no mega initiative of the nature of BRI can sustain unless people are brought into the strategy.
And in some cricket news, play was stopped on day 4 of the second test between Sri Lanka and England due to bad weather, leaving England only 3 wickets away from a series win at the host, challenging 75 runs to square the series. And now on some rugby news, the favourite CHNFC succumbed to their second 1-point defeat at the second week of the Interclub Rugby League at the hands of a young Havelock side in a nail-biting encounter which concluded at Havelock Park last evening.
The scorecard read at 30 points to 29 in favour of the pink shirts. Samuel Madhuanta of CHNFC caught everyone's eyes as he put over a drop goal and 4 penalties and some were over 50 metres, and out of which one was a peach of a kick which was almost 60 metres. At the short whistle, CH led 16 points to 13. Both the teams hung on till the final whistle, but it was the young Havelock side's Rahul Delpachitra who scored at the dying stage to seal the victory for the Park Club.
And that's all for tonight. Do take care and good night.